right, so here I'm going to share a little bit about your standing overhead press and then taking that into a push press variation and ultimately a single arm push press variation. So a few different exercises in this video, and depending on your programming, depending on what your focus is, you might be doing one versus the other, okay? So standing, for all of them, you can choose to use a barbell, dumbbells, or kettlebells. So depending what you have access to, home gym or at the gym, then it'll dictate which exercise you do. If you're at the gym and you're doing a barbell setup, you want to set it up just slightly below that shoulder point so you can kind of walk in and under to unload the bar. So you don't want it to already be there and like coming up onto your tiptoes. You want to be able to come up and under and stand up to unrack it from the clips, okay? I'm not going to show that in the video, but know that is an option to do the barbell variation. I'm using kettlebells in this specific video. You can obviously swap in dumbbells if you're doing it as well, okay? So this exercise trains your shoulder strength and that overhead pushing capacity, okay? When you're doing this with a dumbbell or kettlebell, obviously we have to get the weight up and off the ground to our shoulders. That's going to require doing a little bit of a clean. I'll talk through that more in another video, but for simplicity's sake, your clean is that capacity to drive it up and off the ground and get it to that shoulder height. So just a specific one, when we're lifting it, we want to have our nice strong core, and then we get the weight so our hands are kind of above the elbows and at that shoulder height. Okay, for your standing variation, you want to find shoulder to hip distance stance. This, to be honest, is less stability through the core. Ideally, we are getting closer to that hip distance stance, so that neutral stance is a strong one, okay? We wanna make sure that we're not thrusting our ribs, so we wanna have that strong through the midline, and then we're pressing up overhead. Notice I'm not locked out with my arms back. That's not wrong, but most of us will have a slightly forward push. Okay, make sure that you're keeping the ribs locked out over the bowl of the pelvis, so that deep core strength. Okay, you can take that standing one into a single arm press as well. I'm not going to show it, but you get the idea. The push press is taking this action and putting a little bit of power into it. So we can, in theory, take a little bit more load. Okay, so we would clean it up to our shoulders. And then from there, it's an integrated full body. So ground force reaction. It's a quick movement. I'm going to slow it down just for the purpose of the video, but we drop into the knees and use the recoil of standing up to drive the weight up. That's not a push press, what I just showed. That's it broken down really simplistically. It's a much quicker action. So when we do it, we take an inhale, drop into the knees, and exhale to really kind of drive the weights overhead. So drop, lower, lower. Okay, so that's your push press. Single arm push press, because it's a power move, I like to have that arm reaching out as a little bit of a stability point. We drop and push. Common mistake is taking it in too much of a squat. So it's not a squat, it's not a thruster. It's just a little drop to develop a little bit of ground force reaction. Other common mistakes is not having that full integration of the system, so that we're maybe leaning back, compressing into the low back, not really concerned about activating through the core. So you want to make sure you have that core piece. So like I said, this exercise blends strength, coordination, and power instead of relying solely on just the shoulders to do that overhead pressing action. It teaches the body to transfer force from the ground through the legs, through the trunk, and out through the arms. We use this type of whole body force transfer when we're going to lift anything overhead. You can think of when you're getting on the airplane and you're lifting your suitcase to put it up in the overhead compartment. That's how you would do that exercise, this is training that movement. We use it in general to generate power during athletic performance and other daily activities. Super functional exercise and highly integrated from that systems lens.